Hey, I'm TJ Schwanke, and today on Outdoor Quest TV, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that's bullet performance. It's something I'm super passionate about, but it's one thing a lot of hunters don't have a good understanding of, and there are many styles of bullets. So often you'll ask a hunter, what type of bullet do you use? And he'll say, oh, I use a Hornady. Well, Hornady is not a bullet. They are a bullet manufacturer, and as you can see, they offer many styles of bullets that perform very, very differently. And that's what I want to talk about today, is choosing the proper bullet for the application. Each bullet has its performance envelope, and what that means is there's an ideal impact velocity for ideal terminal performance. So let's start with the GMX, for example. The GMX is a monometal. It's 100% gilding metal, so it's 95% copper, 5% zinc. This is a super, super tough bullet, designed for pounding through bone, up close, high velocity hits. But to get reliable expansion out of this bullet, you're going to need impact velocity of 2,000 feet per second or higher. Kind of next in the line would be our bonded bullets. And this is your typical, it's a lead core with a jacket wrapped around it. But in this case, the core is actually chemically bonded to the jacket. And this is an inner bond here. So they're kind of not quite as tough as the monometals, but they're still a really durable bullet. And they need impact velocities, kind of above 1,800 feet per second to reliably expand. Then we get down into the cup and cores, and we've got the ELD-X and the SST here. Now, again, these bullets are a lead core with that gilding metal jacket wrapped around it, but it's not bonded. So these bullets are going to be a lot more frangible. So, with really close range, high velocity impacts, yeah, you're going to see some shedding of weight, and in some cases you may even see a cup and core separation. It's not bullet failure. That's what these bullets are designed for. Now, these bullets will reliably expand all the way down to about 1,500 feet per second, so they're a great long-range choice. So when we talk about performance envelopes, that's that impact velocity where these bullets work their best. It doesn't mean they won't work outside of it, but you're going to see performance that isn't what you would call perfect at that point. So with super high velocity hits with the cup and cores, for example, you're going to get some fragmentation. If we drop too low with something like a monometal, we're going to have some expansion problems. So pick a bullet that is ideally suited for what you are going to be hunting. And if you happen to stray outside of that, it's still going to be effective. It's just not going to perform perfectly. So let's take a look at the GMX here to start with, the monometal. And this is a bullet that is designed for those super close range, high impact velocity hits. And what better to look at than buffalo?
He's got to take off. Okay. Take him in the shoulder.
Hit him again. Hit him again. Fire up. That's it. He's down.
Great stuff.
Now you can see how well that bullet worked on that buffalo. I mean, it really pounded through that shoulder. Now, one of the criticisms often leveled at monometals like the GMX is that they just pencil right through. They fail to expand. And, people will say, oh, the exit hole was, only the size of my thumb. Well, on a 7mm bullet like this one, 2 times expansion is only going to be about the size of your pinky finger. The size of the exit hole really means nothing in regards to how much the bullet expanded. It has to do with how much the skin stretched, how much the bullet fragmented, and a lot of things. One thing about these monometals is with high velocity hits, you can count on really rapid expansion. So we were hunting leopard in Tanzania a few years ago, shooting at 25 yards. The only rifle we had with us was a 375 H&H because we were hunting buffalo, hippo, a bunch of other things. But I was more than confident shooting that leopard at that range that I would get excellent performance from the monometal just because my impact velocity was high enough. The bullet didn't pencil through at all.
There's the leopard.
Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Zeiss, we make it visible. Defense Aerosols, bear spray for when your life depends on it. Sako Rifles, demand perfection. Closed captioning brought to you by PSE Archery, the precision compound bow experience. Introducing the Carbon Air Stealth 35, along with the new Evolve cam system powered Evoke 35 and Evoke 31, PSE's newest precision compound bows. So we talk about the monometals being great for those high velocity, close range impacts. They also work really good at longer ranges. And as long as you keep that impact velocity, up above 2,000 feet per second, you're gonna be fine. So even with something like, a 30-06, you've still got a 500-yard range to keep that velocity high enough. Now, we were in Namibia a few years ago, and I got offered a shot at a giraffe at 280 yards with the 375 H&H, and I was loaded with the GMX. I wasn't the slightest bit worried. I knew I'd still have plenty of impact velocity, and I knew that bullet would just punch through that 1-inch thick hide, and I'd get deep, deep penetration. Check this out.
Body feed it now.
Right above the leg?
Yeah, go up the leg. And then knob that. It's got like in his chest he's got like a Adam's apple,
Yeah.
Just above that. Or you can try for the neck again, but it's
a long shot.
It's a long shot. It's 280 yards.
How much?
280.
280?
Yeah. Try for the body shot. Can I expire? He's done. Don't have to shoot him again.
Now, the bonded bullets are a great choice if you're looking kind of for a bullet with a little more all-round performance. They're kind of a compromise between that cup and core and the monometal. You can get away with a little bit lower impact velocities, but you're going to get much higher weight retention with closer shots with them. But I just haven't found for long-range use that they offer the superior accuracy that the cup and core does. And this new ELD-X bullet from Hornady is, without question, the most accurate bullet I have ever shot. So typical of cup and core performance, shoot an animal close with a really high impact velocity hit, especially with some of our bigger magnums, you're gonna get a lot of fragmentation. And like I say, in some cases, you're even gonna get a cup and core separation. Doesn't mean the bullet failed at all. It just means you pushed it beyond really what it was designed to do. And start with the longer range impacts on these, little lower velocity, that's where these bullets really, really perform. And we're gonna show you a shot here that Vanessa made on a whitetail a couple years ago. It was just about 400 yards. And at first, I actually thought Vanessa missed.
Okay, he's at 400 wood.
Hi. He just died. Well, she definitely gave me a hard time about telling her she missed. Now, this ELD-X is also a great choice in cartridges that don't have high velocities to begin with. So the 6.5 Creedmoor, everybody thinks it's a super 6.5. It's got pretty modest velocities. It just takes advantage of great bullets. And in this case, we shoot the ELD-X pretty much exclusively out of the Creedmoor. And it does a couple things. we get that great expansion, and sometimes a little bit of fragmentation actually helps kill faster. You get a lot more internal damage. So with a bullet like this, that's small diameter to start with, isn't hitting with a lot of velocity, that's where the cup and cores are a great option. And we were up in the Yukon a few years ago, and Vanessa made a spectacular shot at just under 400 yards on a big old Dull Sheep ram with the 6.5 Creedmoor.
They ran in behind those rocks right there and they haven't come out. It's been about 10 minutes. So we're just kind of waiting to see. Since rushing in, nobody looks too spooked down there, so.
That's him. Here he comes.
He's down.
Oh, really?
Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Stoney Creek Hunting Gear. It's in the blood. Loa Boots, simply more. Silver Willow Taxidermy, see the difference. Safari Club International Canada, first for hunters. So as you can see, there's a bit of a theme to all the shots we're showing you here. They're all longer range, and that's where the cup and cores really shine, especially this ELD-X. It is just so accurate. But don't think they're just for smaller game either. I was hunting elk last year on a ranch that I knew was probably going to offer up some really, really long range shooting just because of the limited cover on it. And my chance finally came, and it was at 500 yards. And if you watch closely, you're going to see my shot was perfect. And I got a complete pass through, even with a cup and core. So lots of damage going through. That bullet went all the way through, did as much damage as it could do, and that elk didn't go very far. I just need that cow to move. Oh no, here comes that calf. Man, I hope that camera's still on him. He's down. He is down. Unbelievable. Holy, that was a big elk. Oh.
No, there he is. Went about, 40, 50 yards and just cratered.
So if you ever want to get into an argument on the internet, talk about how energy is not a killing force with bullets. And I know a lot of you are probably jumping at the television screen right now, but it's the holes that bullets make that kill. All that energy does is allow the bullet to do its work. The bullet needs energy to expand and penetrate, but energy itself is not a killing force. Probably the easiest way to demonstrate that is, say you wounded a big old grizzly bear and he crawled in the thickest bush you could imagine. Which would you rather have, the 6.5 Creedmoor with a 143 grain bullet, or this 45-70, with a 250 grain bullet? Well, what's going to shock a lot of you is that 6.5 Creedmoor actually has more energy at the muzzle. Energy is a combination of speed and weight. So the higher velocity of that Creedmoor gives it a lot more energy at the muzzle up close. But, I know I'd definitely take the bigger hole of the 45-70. So really, energy is just what that bullet needs to do its job. So when a bullet passes through flesh, it makes a hole where the projectile goes through. And you're going to get some ripping and tearing of that, but it's also going to displace fluid as it moves through. And this isn't a shock wave or anything else. It's just a mass moving through, the flesh with moisture in it that's being pushed out. And what that does is create what's called a temporary wound channel. And a lot of times that's where you get the big bruising, or even if it's going through fast enough, a lot of times you'll get blood vessels break and things like that. But again, it's not energy doing the killing, it's that hole. And unless you put that hole in the perfect spot, it's not going to kill. Now, check out this big Cape buffalo that I shot in South Africa a few years ago. I definitely put the hole in the right spot.
Looks like he's getting ready to come. I just see he's taking one step forward there. Yeah. Okay, get ready. Yeah, that's definitely him.
The one rubbing his horn.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, if he comes out, I'll back you up if he doesn't go down. Okay, okay, take him now. Take him now. Again, again. Watch the others, watch the others, watch the others. Take him. He's down, he's down.
Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Alberta Outdoorsman Magazine, Alberta's only hunting, fishing, and trapping magazine. Deluxe wall tents, built in Canada for Canadian conditions. Midland Radios, communication for every adventure. Tika Firearms, second to none. So, speaking of holes again, a few years ago, Vanessa and I were up in the Yukon, and she was hunting grizzly bear, and I was her intrepid guide. And we made a stalk on a bear that we thought was going to put us, you know, a few hundred yards away from the bear. She ended up having to shoot this grizzly bear at 9 yards. Thank goodness she was packing her .338 Winchester Magnum, and she was shooting the GMX out of it, and she made the perfect shot.
I can't see him.
Stand up and shoot him.
Ready? Go. Again. When you hear a lot of hunters talking on the internet, you know, especially some of those with not a lot of experience, talking about how every animal they've shot is dropped right in its tracks, or, you know, that bullet had so much energy that it blew the animal back 3 feet. Well, if that bullet blew a 300-pound animal 3 feet off its tracks, it would have probably blown you 6 feet backwards on the recoil. Physics just says that isn't possible. The only time you're ever going to get animals just drop right on the spot is when we do some kind of damage to their central nervous system. So typically it's a spine shot, a brain shot, even sometimes a hard shoulder shot will drop them down. It doesn't mean they're dead right away. It just means you interrupted that central nervous system enough so they can't move. Typically with lung or heart shots, and especially heart shots, those animals take off running hard. They're not going to go far, but they have to bleed out. So when I was hunting hippo in Tanzania a couple of years ago, what we wanted to do was drop that hippo right on the spot. So in this case, we went for a brain shot.
No, it's fine. Good. No, it's fine. Perfect. He comes up, yeah, perfect. Now it's good position in the ear, and then continue to shoot. Yeah? Perfect. Again, shoot. Shoot. Just shoot on the neck. Spike.
Well, I hope you enjoyed some of the footage from some of our older hunts. I hope you learned a little bit about bullets. You know, the most important thing to learn is they're not all the same. They all have their ideal performance envelope, and it's important to pick not only the bullet for the conditions, but also the bullet that your rifle likes. These companies have provided products and services that are critical to hunts conducted on Outdoor Quest TV. You can check us out online at OutdoorQuestTV.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.